All right, let's have a chat to Angus Taylor. Of course, the former federal government minister, current shadow treasurer in the parliament. Well, he has a family connection back through the Snowy Mountains scheme that's worth talking about here too. Tell us about the family connections back to royalty via Snowy.
Yeah, Paul, my grandfather was the head of Snowy during the construction, during the 50s and 60s into the early 70s. And of course, the Queen came and visited the Snowy scheme in March 1963 and spent 3 days touring the scheme. My grandfather and his wife, my grandmother, spent a good deal of that time with the Queen and Prince Philip touring. It was pretty extraordinary to spend 3 days touring towns like Cancoban, Adaminaby, Cabramurra, Island Bend, these famous sort of villages, fantastic towns around the Snowy Mountains region. But the most remarkable thing from what my grandparents told me of that tour was just how she engaged with the workers. And you've got to remember, these workers had come, many of them come out of war-torn Europe. They were from both sides of the war, the Russians, the Germans, the Italians, as well as the French, the British, Americans, Canadians, many who had been fighting in that war and killing each other. They were tough people, and you had a person of extraordinary privilege meeting these people with very little privilege. And the point my grandparents always made about her was just how well she engaged with those workers that were the heart of the Snowy and have become the heart of this great nation, that post-war group who came out here, immigrants, in the post-war reconstruction around the world. But those people who came to Australia really were remarkable people. And her engagement with them was the thing that my grandparents treasured for the rest of their lives.
And that experience of someone from a long way away seeing what was happening in Australia, but also Snowy is such an achievement. It's an achievement of modern Australian engineering, ingenuity, the immigrant future of our country. Did you get the sense in the conversations with your grandparents that she was aware of just how forward-leaning this thing was, about how proud we were of something that could become so important for us for generations ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she went right to the point. She went into the tunnels through Geehigh. Anyone who's been to Geehigh, it's a really very beautiful but very remote part of the Snowy Mountains, extraordinarily beautiful on the western faces of the Snowies. And she went into the tunnel and saw the incredible work they were doing there, the rock bolting, which was a great new innovation that they were pioneering at the time, many other innovations with the scheme. But these thousands of workers who'd come out of war-torn Europe. And so, yes, she appreciated that. I mean, in this day and age, the idea that you'd spend 3 days looking at a single project is pretty extraordinary. But that's what she did, and her engagement was something, as I say, that they talked about for the rest of their lives.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it, Angus. Good story.